Hello, and welcome to another episode of Swipe. I'm Ollie J, your host and captain for this technological voyage. This week, we take a trip to a base station. Then we unpack electrical vehicles and some inside tech news. We see them, we don't think about them a lot. We know where they are, but do we really know what base stations do? How do they make my phone work? A base station is a piece of equipment that facilitates wireless communication using user equipment and a connection. That's all fun and easy to talk about, but let's actually find out what base stations are and what they do.
A base station is the last mile equipment deployed by any mobile network. That is to say, this is the equipment that helps you, the subscriber, to connect to any network, any mobile network. What they do, they work hand in hand with your phones and also your SIM card. When you make a call, the call is routed from the base station to then a mobile switching center. What happens there now, it tries to locate the number that you have called, the location of the person you're trying to call, billing, and also do you actually have airtime to make that call. They are for mobile networks. However, you can make calls to landlines. As I mentioned before, that happens now in the mobile switching center. It will now identify the number that you've called. Is it a mobile number or a landline number? Our primary source of power is electricity. However, then if there's a power cut, we are affected. Basically is affected. However, there are other measures in place. We do have backups at our base stations. It could be a generator or any other form of secondary power. You notice sometimes when there's a power cut, you lose network for a few minutes. Usually it's because we're trying to cover that gap from ZESA to our secondary power.
So what we have here is our components, different components that make up the base station. At the bottom, we have our ATS, automatic transfer switch. This is used to transfer, if there's a power cut, it will switch from electricity to ZESA. It's automatically done by the ATS. What we have here is our DC-DU. In telecoms, we use negative 48 volts. This is the power that we use in telecoms. So this distribution board gives out negative 48 so that our equipment is powered on. So we have different components here for the base station as well. We have our fiber, which goes to the antennas, and here is our transmission. So when I make that call, it's then routed via our transmission path. This is used to connect to the subscriber.
There are various considerations when we choose the location of base stations. Key in any business, there's the commercial aspect. Networks are in business to make money. There are also stakeholder considerations. And more importantly, there are national strategic considerations which are also done when we choose our sites. That's why you see us not only in town, and sometimes we're at very difficult places. You wonder how we got there. In days gone by, I'm sure we all believe base stations were primarily for just talking. But as our lives are going through what we are discovering every day, the pandemics, the ICT growth, the base stations have actually become a key enabler to most of our economic development, disaster management, and the E of doing things. There's e-learning now that has come on board, e-agriculture. We have farmers who are sitting in South Africa or anywhere who are controlling their sender pivots using this infrastructure to enable farming, primarily using the apps, controlling moisture content, triggering sender pivots. So I should say they are playing a key role in the way we are now doing things and actually contributing more to where we want our economy to be. Currently, we are facing serious threats. The level of vandalism of national infrastructure in this country is alarming. We are not spared as network operators. Whilst this development and deployment of infrastructure costs huge sums of money, some people find it necessary just to break it down, not even considering the contribution to our lives, day-to-day lives. So we're having vandalism at alarming rates. Copper is being stolen, fuel is being stolen, and other items such as batteries, solar panels. So it is actually a serious issue, and maybe it calls for authorities to look into stiffer penalties to try and stop this.
Now that we have a deeper understanding of base stations, I can actually say that I will never see them the same again. It's wonderful to see that these superstructures are made to be environmentally friendly. Many continents are joining hands for a future and transportation. So where is Africa in all of this? We have seen the emergence of electrical vehicles. EV industry trendsetters in Africa, such as Agility, an upcoming bike manufacturer, Grid Cars, specialists in public EV charging, e-mobility traders, an online EV hybrid and smart chargers dealership, BYD, an EV dealership in Zimbabwe, Electric Drive Africa, an EV magazine for Africa and dealerships such as Jaguar and BMW selling EVs in South Africa. Research shows that Africa is one of the most sun-rich continents in the world, which makes it easier for EV adoption. So why are we taking time? Let's unpack EVs.
Our company concentrates on low and zero emission vehicles and charging stations. We are looking into the future of transport, of green technology in transport. So we've set up an office here at Joiner City Complex. That is going to be a satellite office that is going to run a lot of charging stations all over the country. We are looking at making Zimbabwe a pioneer in green technology in transport. As we know, there's been solar, there's been renewable energy for power, but now we want to branch out into transport to ensure that people are using electric vehicles, hybrid vehicles, and most probably in commercial vehicles in the future will be using renewable energy. As for charging stations, we've already set up 6 charging stations on behalf of the Zimbabwe Energy Regulatory Authority. Our rollout plan for charging stations will start in January 2022. We are planning to do 100 sites for charging stations. The lifespan of an EV battery from brand new depends on how you take care of it. Normally, an EV battery can last from 10 years to 15 years.
So this is a Nissan Leaf. It's a full electric. It's a 2012 model. They call it ZE or ZE0. What we're looking at is 2 charging ports to charge the vehicle. But this one here, the orange one here, is not a charge itself. It's actually AC supply. The vehicle uses DC because you cannot store AC. You can only store DC voltage. So this one is the one that you use with your grid at home or at work. You can just use your 220. It's called level 2 charger, but it's not a charger, it's a EV supply equipment. So you supply an AC, the charger itself is on board, it's inside there. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So this one is your supply. This one is the real charger now, because as you can see, these 2 big ports there, that's your DC. So it's a direct DC from outside with the charger going straight to the battery. With this guy, you put in AC, it goes to the onboard charger, then it goes to the high voltage battery, which is the DC. So this one will take about 30 minutes to charge the battery. We have a 24 kilowatt battery at the moment with this one. It will take about, it's got a 3.3 kilowatt onboard charger that will take about 8 hours to charge the battery. But with this one, it's just 30 minutes. With this one, it's 8 hours at home. This is the 3.3 kilowatt onboard charger. So when you put your EV supply equipment on your grid, then you plug it in there. The AC comes into this guy, then the guy converts it to DC to charge the high voltage battery underneath the vehicle. So that's a charger for the AC. So I was talking about depowering the car. When you're a technician, you want to work on the vehicle safely without wearing these gloves. You'd need to open this carpet here. This is for technicians that are trained, right? I'm just showing you where the service plug is. As you can see, it's actually hidden for occupants, normal, like your motorist, the owner of the vehicle. They don't need to go all the way, You open this guy like this. So you need to undo these bolts, So this will be done by a professional technician. So I'm going to use this tool here to unfasten the bolts. Okay. Okay, let's get our bolts. Okay, then you have to remove this plate here. So here it's actually written danger. It's just written in Japanese, but there's English here. High voltage inside. So it's kind of do not open at all. So this is the service plug that you can see, the orange guy here. So there's a tab that you need to press, the orange one, then you pull it up. So I'll try and do that like that, then you pull him all the way up like this, then you pull him up like that. So now we have depowered the car. Then you'd wait about 5 minutes for the capacitors to discharge. Then you would check your voltage to see if there's no more the 380 volts. As a technician, you use your multimeter. Then now you can work on the vehicle. Then this guy, you need to lock him in a cupboard so that nobody will just put it back accidentally, when you're working on the vehicle. So you put it in a cupboard, lock it in there, then that's the process for you to start servicing the vehicle. So it's basically splitting the high voltage battery into two. So now the computer will see that it's more like an open in an electrical circuit. So it's not going to start the high voltage system because now it sees there's an open there. Okay, so that's the port itself. So we're actually looking at the battery right now. This is part of the battery. The white stuff is just part of the high voltage battery. So this is how you go about, but we're going to be doing more when we train technicians to actually work on this vehicle safely, and we'll be very happy to do that so that most of the technicians in Zimbabwe from all over, all the provinces, they will have access to this training that we want to introduce to Zimbabwe.
Welcome back to the last segment of Swipe. We're going to talk about some tech news. Joining me today is Valentine and Ed. Now, what if I told you that there's a bike that's also secretly a Decepticon, a transforming bike, a folding bike, the Convercycle. Apparently, it's supposed to be a cargo bike and a city bike all in one because it has a folding wheel that lets you put stuff in it. I mean, let's just talk about the design.
There's no way that makes sense because you can just put a basket on a bike.
Their excuse is that you're able to carry the 6-pack of beers in the compartment that unfolds, and you can put a backpack. You can put a picnic basket. I mean, it would be popular with the ladies. I mean, the ladies love a man who's versatile.
Which lady's gonna want to cycle anyway?
I really feel like it has a lot of advantages, and it's got a lot of disadvantages as well. So let's just talk about like the advantages of the bike.
The folding part, great. I mean, it's something that you can just put away. That's fantastic. I mean, that's the only advantage I can think of because everything else is like, why?
But does it add extra weight? Because it's gonna be unfolding, right?
Yeah.
So does that mean there's gonna be like, I don't know, extra beams or something?
I think it'll be netting and meshing to help it become rigid. But then again, you can just carry something on your back, which is the disadvantage to the advantage.
So who would this bike be for?
I'm struggling to see who it's for. I mean, if most of these things are in vogue things that are cool and chic, that someone will take an interest in. So it's got a niche market, that'll be great. But for everyone, I don't. For me personally, I'm good.
Okay, so just for enthusiasts.
Enthusiasts.
I think I would like one.
Why?
Okay, not because it's obviously weak. Like, okay, it's obviously weak. Like, it could just break in the middle of cycling, and because more points of weakness. But then I think it would be cool, like I said earlier, for picnics. I'm one for picnics. I like a good picnic. Kind of cool. But at the same time,
If you want to be a 5-year-old,
But the one thing I worry about with rideability is serviceability. So if you break a part of the bike, where do you get it fixed? Let's say in Zim, where would you get it fixed?
I don't think so.
At some point, you just have to weld the entire thing. Just be like, you know what, it's now just a bike.
And when you weld it, it loses the purpose of being a
Yeah,
foldable
become-
bike
yeah,
because
become
now
convenient.
it's just, you know, rigid and it's not a convenient bike at all. Well, there's a different bike though. This one they call the Atom Mobility Scooter. Yeah, what's up with companies and folding things? So it's a scooter that you have to fold. You can unfold it. It breaks down into two different parts. And then you join them together, you've got a scooter. And you know, my question is, why does it have to be a foldable? I mean, we already are folding phones and those have serious issues. Those already have issues. So now they've taken that concept and they're putting it into bikes. It is good. I heard it's airline approved. You can take it on flights. You can lug it around like it's, you know, it's a suitcase. But yeah, is it practical? Again, is it practical? Yeah,
But the foldable part is really cool because it's more compact. So if it's yours and it's of personal use, you can simply fold it and put it in the corner instead of having it like in the middle of your house.
yeah, but again, it'll be for enthusiasts, right?
at least it's better because
Is-
it's now able to carry a person. So yeah, one step forward in the right direction. But also like, I guess it's one of those where you now think of charging as well as serviceability.
It's electric.
It's electric. Yeah. So getting it serviced might be a bit of a tricky situation, or if a part breaks. So
I just hope it's not gonna be like a fad like the hoverboard. Like, where did those go? You know, like I hope it's not gonna disappear.
they went the way of the Note 7.
Yeah.
And the dump site sound.
Okay. It's cool looking. It does look cool. It does look futuristic. I mean, that's the whole aesthetic people are going for now. You know, in this this crazy millennia we are in, COVID. Moving on to mobile electric devices, let's talk about the Lightyear One, the phone that has wheels. I'm joking. I'm joking. Okay, so it's an electric car that's apparently going to be better than Tesla. Okay, let's get into it then. So this Lightyear One, what makes it so special then? What makes it better than a Nissan Leaf besides the design? What makes it better than a Tesla Model S Plaid? What makes it better than a Tesla Model X? What makes it special?
Well, my first issue is it's got solar panels on the top, right? So that's a novel concept. But the problem is the sun going to be in the same place where I'm charging my car?
Because the sun is
moves.
constantly moving,
Yeah.
and you're gonna park your car in your garage at night, and you don't have a mini sun. This isn't Spider-Man 2.
The power of the sun.
In the palm of my hands. Isn't it just an unnecessary expense, you know?
Yeah, it's tricky. So the cool part about it is bags and bags of range, from what they say. Probably it'll be the highest range EV you can get, but it still is an issue when it comes to how the solar panels will perform. Because like when I was just checking it out, they were saying, yo, you can get about 70 kilometers of range from a full day's worth of charging. And I'm like, okay, in ideal conditions.
In ideal conditions,
Yes,
but
it's not always the case. So
clouds.
that then becomes the tricky part. And also the fact that, see, the solar panels are a cool thing to have. They've been in cars for a while now. So there's some Mercedes Benzes from like 2002, 2003 that actually come with little solar panels on the roof just for the accessories and stuff to keep that battery topped up. So it's a useful thing, but solar panels haven't reached a point where they can produce or harvest enough power to actually comfortably power a vehicle. So yeah, and the inconvenience as well, because these panels are now compromising the design of the car just so that it can harvest more sunlight. So that car doesn't have a back window because all that is a solar panel.
Real estate. So you're losing real estate where you can put other things for solar panels.
Yeah, it's a cool design, eh? Like, it's something different. I don't know if it's necessarily better than what's already available right now, but it is something that's different, something that's striking. So if you are looking for something different.
Still on the topic of electric vehicles, we have EVCA and Zua here in Zimbabwe collabing to bring us, you know, an electric vehicle charger basically at service stations within Zim. I'd like to know a bit more about that.
Oh yeah, so their partnership, essentially they'll be putting some very fast charging stations for electric vehicles at Zuva service stations, and these will be able to charge one of the BYD vehicles in about 1.5 hours. So it's pretty rapid for electric vehicles, because most of them on like those chargers that they give you to go with at home and use, it'll take you something like 8 to 12 hours. So 1.5 hours, I mean, it's one of my meetings with this guy. So so it's not too long.
It's not much. It's not much.
It's not much. And the cool part about it is these chargers, they operate on this other standard called CCS2. So it is a universal standard for a lot of electric vehicles. So it's not just your BYDs that EV Center Africa sells, but also some Nissan Leafs, some all other EVs that use the same standard.
So will it work with plug-in hybrids?
If they have the same connector, yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
So long as so it's like your plug, your socket for your electrical appliances. So we have the Euro plug with the squares. That's what we commonly use in Zim, the UK standard. Yeah, and then there is the round plugs that are most popular in SA and whatnot. So that's sort of like the same thing with that connector for the charger. So long as they match, you're cool. No
Okay.
adapters though.
Yeah, I really hope this whole collab, encourages people in Zim to start, getting more electric cars.
Every
Yeah,
single
and-
car maker has put that pledge. 2030, they're going to switch to electrification, which is great. So with Zua and EV Center Africa, it's good because it means now we can feasibly get an EV to go from Harare to Blawe. We can charge it in Gweru, have lunch, and just adding another hour maybe on our trip,
Yeah.
which makes it about 6 hours in total. Which means we can leave at 8 and probably get there like at 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Anyways, this has been Tech News. Thank you for watching. Join us in the next episode of Swipe.